You might have already noticed, but oysters are back on the menu. After years in decline, oyster and shellfish farming is making a huge comeback in Rhode Island and the rest of New England, bringing jobs, improved water quality, and of course, lots of tasty bivalves to tables around the state. Some of the best oysters in the world come from right here in Rhode Island. Join us as we explore the Oyster Renaissance right here on A Taste of Rhode Island.
Rhode Islanders are intensely proud of their history, culture, and above all, their food. With over 400 miles of coastline, diverse cultural influences, and a rich tradition of fishing and farming, Rhode Island is a food lover's mecca. We're taking you on a trip across the ocean state to meet the chefs, farmers, brewers, distillers, and winemakers that make Rhode Island one of America's most exciting and dynamic food cultures. From classic to cutting edge, this is a taste of Rhode Island.
Oyster farming is growing rapidly in Rhode Island, and Jeff Gardner, owner of Watch Hill Oysters down near Westerly, has been growing world-class oysters for over 25 years, and he has helped pioneer the Renaissance from the very beginning.
Hi, I'm Jeff Gardner, owner of, founder of Watch Hill Oysters. Shellfish for You is my company name. This is my house where we start our day. So we're going to walk down the path to see where Winnapock Pond is and where we work. Here we go. This is Winnapock Pond in Westerly, Rhode Island. The water in this pond is incredibly healthy. It's inspected. We have a 3 to 3.5 foot tide, which means we have a lot of water that flows back and forth, and we'll continue down the path. Hi guys. This is where we do a lot of the work. Where we do a lot of the grading, sieving, etc. is underneath this canopy to keep the sun off us in the summer. It's a beautiful late fall day today. It's not always pretty out here. We work, well, let me say it another way. Being an oyster farmer is not a job, it's a lifestyle. Hey guys, would you go with this?
What's up?
Being an oyster farmer is not just a job, it's a lifestyle.
Lifestyle, baby.
Right, lifestyle. Oysters were nowhere near as popular when I started doing this as they are now. It seems as if you almost are required to have oysters on your menu if you're a good quality restaurant nowadays. Whereas when I started 25, 30 years ago, it was not like that. So is it an oyster renaissance? Perhaps yes. Are Rhode Island oysters really good? Absolutely. There's a book called The Geography of Oysters, and it maps out oysters and describes oysters in the United States. And I believe they call it the Gold Coast for oysters, and that's between Long Island and Maine. We're kind of in the middle of that. That's where the oysters have to endure a real winter, and when they do that, their glycogen, their fat content increases, and they taste better. I've grown shellfish, including clams and bay scallops, in I believe it's 17 locations. This is the best one. But I've tried it in numerous places. And what type of species is this, by the way? This is, well, wild out here. This is Crustacea virginica. Think of the state of Virginia. That's what's grown on the East Coast. We're not allowed to bring in exotic species like a gigas oyster or Kumamoto or anything else into the East Coast, which is good because they might take over the environment and outcompete the native oyster. Why do Watch Hill Oysters taste the way they do? The reason is we have Westerly granite. Westerly is famous for its granite. There's a church in England supposedly made out of Westerly granite. So we have the white and green mountains of Vermont and New Hampshire. They have underground aquifers, rivers. Those rivers flow down through from northern New England to the coastal region along here, and they dump that water out into the ocean and into this pond. So we have underground fresh water that comes sifting up through westerly granite and minerally bottom. So the only fresh water, or the majority of the fresh water that this pond gets, comes from northern New England through those aquifers. That gives us our briny, buttery, minerally, complex, I love this one, oceany flavor.
It's all one species up and down the coast, and they're just trademarked and branded differently based on their location of where they're grown. So even though we have oysters growing here as Watch Hills and there's Matunics up the road, they're going to have a completely different taste, even though geographically they're so close together. They're in different water bodies, and they're a product of their environment. One, two, three.
Our oysters are described as briny yet sweet, buttery, complex, minerally, oystery. And the new word from Jeff Gardner, meaning me, is oceany. Served at some of the finest restaurants in the country. Right now, some of these oysters today are going to Old Ebbitt's Grill, which is the nearest restaurant to the White House. We've been selling to Grand Central Station Oyster Bar for, well, 20 years. We sell to the Aqua Grill directly. Aqua Grill is Zagat's #1 raw bar in New York City and has been for a long time. We put over 2 million oysters in the water this year. So we do this. We are a commercial aquaculture farm that supports families. I'm really proud of the fact that one of the things that Shellfish for You, Watch Hill Oysters can do is we pay a living wage. People can continue to work for us for quite a while and continue to make more money and pay people enough money that they can survive. It's difficult to pay as much as I'd like because I'd like to make more myself, but it's a good business. It's wonderful what we do to the environment, and I'm pretty proud of what we're doing.
Right now we're gonna go out to the lease and grab pre-bagged market bags for the restaurant, all in 100 counts, and we're gonna go to the boat ramp and meet Jeff there with the pickup truck.
These oysters are going from farm to restaurant within 1 hour. They've just been harvested. They're going in the truck, getting put in the coolers, getting iced, getting delivered within 1 hour of the farm to the restaurant. They're going to the Nordic Lodge, which is in Charlestown, Rhode Island. It's rated one of the top 10 all-you-can-eat buffets outside of Las Vegas. The food is incredible. They'll be getting 2,400 oysters for the weekend. Watch Hill Oysters rule.